Hey everybody, it's your friendly family favorite neighborhood weirdo here, Cataclysmic, bringing you a very special new Minecraft video here. This is a project that is several years in the making, and I'm going to show that off to you in just a second here. But before we get into that, there's just a few disclosures I got to give you here. First of all, this is a work in progress. It is not done, so you're going to see some stuff that's not quite right, not completed yet. Second thing here, this is purely survival. So everything you're seeing is hard work. None of this was creative. I didn't get any cheats, nothing at all. This was the old-fashioned, hardest way possible. That's just how I like to earn it. Last thing here is that this is actually the second time that I am having to build a lot of this stuff. I had actually previously built all this up even further than what you're going to see in this video, but something stupid happened with my computer. I thought I backed up the save. I was wrong. Screwed me over. Lost 6 months of progress because I had reinstalled my operating system. So I had to go from memory and rebuild a lot of the stuff that you guys are about to see here. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. See the tower as it looms in the darkness. It just needs a giant fiery eyeball at the top of that tower. So a couple things I want to point out here is first, all of this open, flat, nice, clean land here. This used to be jungle. This was hilly and valleys and trees and all the crap that a jungle could throw at you. It took a long time to demolish all of that crap and get it out of here. It ended up filling up about 28 double chests of crap. Just dirt and cobblestone and everything, the wood, everything that a jungle could possibly throw at you. So that took a lot of time and effort. Having to do it twice, that really sucked. Now, this wall here that you're seeing right now, my estimate is this took roughly about 500 stacks of stone brick blocks to build. So that was a lot of material, having to get a lot of stone cooked, constantly converting it, and just going back and forth over and over again. Now, part of this video I think I should point out at this point is that I currently don't have any editing skills. So I forgot to mention this path here, that kind of path step right there. It doesn't currently go anywhere. Eventually that's going to go to a biome that I'm going to create a path to. But anyway, this is the bridge into my base, and you'll see here I've got my moat started and carved out. Previously, I already had this done, and it looked great. I had used prismarine shards to texture it on all the walls here. I think it was dark prismarine, if I'm mistaken, and it looked great. I just loved it. I filled it in with water, and it goes all the way around the castle to the back to the ocean. This bridge right now, it's currently about what I had before. I'm going to actually work towards doing something like an extending bridge. I saw something for online on YouTube. Looked really cool, and I think I might be able to work, but I'm not sure yet. So that's something to look forward to. I'm going to work on that and see if it has the right look and feel that I'm going for with this particular build. But anyway, let's go ahead and enter the base. I'm going to show you some more cool stuff there. This, this is my mob farm. You shall bow down to my mob farm. This is an amazing, ungodly, awesome mob farm. One chamber, two chambers, three chambers. Technically, I'm going to call this a fourth chamber. This is my gold farm that feeds into the same output as this mob farm. So this thing is amazing. And that's why you're going to see all these torches everywhere. That's all about mob spawn area control. You have to be good at that to have a successful mob farm. And this thing is very successful. Now, you see these paths here, of course. This path to the left doesn't go anywhere yet. That's area that I still am going to develop at some point. I'm going to add a bunch of farms in here. I've already got a bunch, but there's more I need to add. I'm going to go down this path to the right and show you some cool stuff down there, and we'll go from there. This is my apiary. Do you have an apiary? I do. So an apiary is a fancy, nice word for a place for bee business. Beesness, if you will. Business. You get it? You get it? Business. It's business. Alright, anyway, moving on. This right here is my tree farm. And here's where I have all of my other farms. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but just the basics, you know, carrots, wheat, potatoes. To the left here, I've got an automated sugarcane farm, and just beyond that, I've got an automated pumpkin and melon farm, which, you know, big thanks to Mumbo Jumbo. Great video, sir. That is your design. It was my favorite design. It's not the newest one, but it's the one I personally prefer, so it's what I'm using. I'm going to stop and take a closer look as we pass by it there. Next thing we're going to do after I look at these farms just briefly is I'm going to go to the docks and show you what I've got started there, and that requires some brief explanation. That's right, glowstone, man. That's how you do it. Good kitty. So this is part of the build where I have to admit I think I may have screwed it up a little bit. I think this dock is actually a little too short than the original design, and I also noticed after the fact that it's not quite centered. Like this thing right here at the top, it's kind of like a little alcove on the top of the wall, which I'll show off in a second here, and I know for a fact that is 100% certain, and you can see here it's a little off center. So I gotta take this thing down, move farms inside, do what you crap to make it centered, and then I'm gonna extend it further out into the ocean. I think it'll look a lot better. What a view. To the tower. Of course, cactus farm. I'm really fond of this new Minecraft blocks you can use of chain and lantern. I love that combination. It looks great. So I'm going to go up to the very next floor above us here just to show off something for a second that I like. And from there I'm going to go straight to the top of this wall. So this is what I have at every single corner, at every single floor of this place, and I really dig the look of it. I think it looks really cool. And you can see how clean and organized and even these you know, lanes or aisles look here, so to speak, between these walls. Eventually I think I'll do something with them. I love just having that empty space to work with. I can do whatever I want with it. If later on I come up with any cool ideas, anything I want to do with it. But with this little corner thing in each corner here, I think I'm going to add some decorative blocks around it to kind of reinforce it and make it look really cool. Anyway, at this point of the video, I'm going to go ahead and go straight to the top of the wall. So go ahead and fast forward until you see the sky. Alright, here we are at the top. You'll see I have some very lovely dark oak here at the floors. And you probably noticed by now that I have these blocks every single one of these entryways, every floor. I just dig that look. I think it looks great. I'm going to show you that alcove real quick that I was talking about earlier, and then we're going to go to the top of the tower. I'm going to show off the view. I did want to point out briefly that I know these towers could probably use a little bit more work aesthetically speaking. This is kind of a basic design. I don't recall exactly how I built it last time, but I think it was something like this. So for the moment being, I think it's good enough. I'll come back when I'm ready to get more vague about how it looks. So this is that alcove I keep calling it that I'm talking about. Okay, to the top of the tower. Go ahead and fast forward until I get up there. Here we are. Just missed the sunset, man. This does give you some feel about the height and looking down and seeing my base a little bit more. You might notice this red X on top of my gold farm I think is pretty cool. Basically, when you build it, you get these empty blocks that happen to be at X. So I used some bright red netherrack on there, netherrack rather, and I thought it looked really good. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to hit the bed real quick just to push the day-night cycle. I love this water texture. Okay, go ahead and fast forward to the point where I reach the bottom level where you're going to see grass. When you see green, you're there. Now, as you can see, there's a lot going on already, just the fact that we're down here. We're going to go through all this. Before we do, though, I just want to point out these stairs that we just came down to. I'm going to actually set up a deal where these stairs will have a secret door, and that's where I'm going to put my bedroom. I'm going to put a big bed down there and all that good stuff. Now, to our right here, you're going to notice this is where all these mobs are falling. Every single mob farm that we were talking about earlier, it all comes down to this particular spot here. So you're going to see them all falling like crazy. It's actually falling really well right now. Depending on the time of day and various things like that, it can get nuts with the way they just keep dropping and dropping like crazy. It's just wild to see it. And just in case you're curious, this whole train track deal, if you like come in eye contact with these guys, it kind of lures them in. Sometimes I'll just get in there and stare up just to lure a bunch of guys to the center and fall in. But anyway, next thing we're going to do is we're going to look over here and this side here where you see these decorative blocks. We're going to go down to the area underneath where all of these mobs are being actually collected. So this is where they fall and drop, and the switch here allows me to convert it into an XP farm by allowing water to flow underneath there. But next thing I want to do for you is I'm going to go down here and show you about the collection point. It's pretty cool. Now the original plan when I was building this right here was each of these lights would light up as each chest would fill. So if I ever come down here, I'd have an idea about how much stuff is stocked up here. The build isn't working out as planned, so I have a different plan based on another video I saw that I'm quite fond of. There's actually an item organizer. I think I'm going to build that right here, so there's just chests lined up. This chest for bones, this chest for this chest for that. I think that would be super convenient and really badass if that'll work. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead back upstairs. It's probably a good idea to fast forward until you see me back up to that collection chute that I was talking about where the guys were falling. Alright, we are here. So now I'm going to show you something that I think is pretty cool. Just watch. Oh dear, what is this? None shall pass. None shall pass.
You shall not pass!
Someday when I'm good at editing, I'm going to splice that little part of that movie into this part with this bridge with lava. I think it would be great. So you may have guessed by now, this is my nether portal room. Lava, bridges, nether, all the good stuff. Now, this nether portal has a design that I think is ingenious. I'm so grateful that I discovered. Where flipping a switch, you turn it on. Flipping a switch, you turn it off. That way you don't have any zombie pigmen just flying out of there because you leave it on. Super convenient. Alright. Next, guys, we're going to go straight back to this. Alright. Next, I'm going to show you something that I actually care a lot about. I don't think every Minecraft player does this or is into this, but I think it's pretty cool. This room straight ahead of us, it's basically just a long straight hallway, and on every side of this wall here, I'm listing blocks of every type that's available in the game that you can mine, use, and place and whatnot, and it's pretty extensive. I mean, there's a lot of blocks of this freaking game, easily over 100. I've got most of them, but you're going to see some empty slots. I'm just going to run down there real quick so you can kind of get the feel of what I'm doing and come straight back. We're going to go on to the next area. So the purpose of this room is really for brainstorming. If I want to build something, I can look at all these blocks and decide what kind of look I want. It's kind of like having a catalog. So this next room is the study. You'll see my enchanting table here with all the library books it needs to get maximum level. Previously I had my beds in the center here. I kind of made like a sleeping area, but I decided to make it a giant fire pit. I thought it looked cooler. Because as we all know, fire always makes it better. To the right here, you're going to see where I have all my chests stacked up and organized and whatnot. Eventually, I'm going to have to dig it further back into that wall to make room for more stuff, but right now I'm pretty happy with it. The next area is going to be my art gallery. Yes, that's right. I said art gallery. Excuse me, do you have an art gallery? No, I didn't think so. So this has every work of art painting that's available in the game. And in the center here, you're going to see my Ender Dragon egg on display. Alright, so next, here's where you're going to see my archery area. Now, if one knows how to use a bow properly, and shoots that said bow properly, they are rewarded with a lovely chime. Now here's where I keep all my farm animals. I always thought it would be a really great idea to have farm animals underground. Eventually I'm going to build an incinerator right here because they throw so many freaking eggs at you, you can't use them all. You might as well just incinerate them. Now here is my map room. I definitely plan to eventually expand this even more and more so it wraps around all these walls. The only thing I really want to draw your attention to is this part that shows my base. I feel like this helps give an idea about the scale that we're talking about here and how much work went into creating this area to what I want it to be. That's a lot of room right there to clear out and build upon and so forth there. Alright, we are just about done. There's just one more thing I gotta show you guys. So this is kind of like my travel subway area. This path goes to my stronghold. This path goes to my very super secret and special underwater base. But because you're such a good friend, I'm gonna show it to you. Just don't tell anybody. Seriously, just between you and me. Pinky swear. It's super secret. Can't tell anyone.